No, like NKR had a shocker, man. Like
Yeah.
I had an absolute shocker.
I think all I have to say is that India scored 1,000 runs and NKR scored two of them. Okay, so that
TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?
Hello and welcome to Bits and Pieces, the friendliest cricket podcast. In an era where England have become a post-cricket team, this is the podcast that has become a post-cricket, post-podcast group. Right? In fact, the friendliest cricket podcast got so friendly that in order to record an episode, we had to invite our number one enemy. The man who looked at the space of popular cricket content, saw that 81 All Out has died, Cricinfo was on a trip of its own, and told us, Machan, I think this is the correct time to make Bits and Pieces a subscription based podcast. Say hi, PGK.
wonderful, wonderful. I miss these intros. I miss these intros so much. Thank you. Wonderful episode to be.
Also joining us, he deconstructs things so beautifully that the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation is trying to lure him to join them. The intelligent cricket fans, Sharang Shringarpure, a man of many voices but no invoices. Say hi, PDP.
Hi, Tony. Lovely to be back and great to be recording an episode again.
And rounding up the panel, he is one half of the KL Rahul fan club, of which I am the better half. The one-man selection committee who puts ophthalmologists out of service because he offers free 5-second eye tests and then keeps his eye on you. Say hi, VaMu, Varun Murli.
Hi. You may be the better half, but I think I am the infinitely better half.
Oh, like that. Okay. This is infinite number of mathematicians walk into a bar. First guy orders one beer, second guy half, and so on and so forth. And the bartender pours out 2 beers because infinite series. Anyway, so rounding up this 2x2 metrics, I, of course, am Tony Edgebastian, which also is where we find ourselves in episode 171.
How long have you been waiting to make that joke?
Unlike the rest of the intro, which I came up with spontaneously on the spot, this one I had kept prepared to unleash as soon as the podcast starts. Right? That is how this works.
Now that we've finished disseminating all the preparation that we have done before this episode with that one single joke. We have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, no idea what they're doing is also an apt summary of whatever it is that England is doing in the world of Test cricket. Why is Shoaib Bashir a thing? Why is Ben Stokes still captain? Why are people still talking about baseball when all they can do is pull off the improbable, right? So they get themselves into positions where the win is improbable and then try to pull it off. But guys, first of all, before we start, trivia question: do you know when the last episode of Bits and Pieces was released?
The IPL, no? Wasn't it after
No, they were after the WTC final, like 1 week after the WTC final.
Yeah, the last episode was published on 17th June. So apologies to all the fans to whom we said we'll be more regular and all that. We promise to be regular from now on, hopefully. So in the interim, India have traveled to England, lost one test and won the second one. Right, that's where we find ourselves. So opening remarks, PGK, what do you make of this?
No, I think what I said yesterday, I still stand by it, which I think that, I mean, not very controversial, but I feel like it's going to be a test win that will remember for a very, very, very long time. And such an incredible win. And I think it's just the manner in which they won. Young team, no Bumrah, in Edgbaston, never won before. It reminds me a lot of the Perth win in 2008 in Australia, where Ishant Sharma came and, basically made Ricky Ponting dance. It reminds me of something like that in terms of how improbable and weird the win is. So yeah, such a wonderful win. I'm very happy for Akash, very happy for the Indian team. Looking forward to supporting this team without caveats now. I think now you can, I feel like there is a lot of like freedom now to support this team. You're not emotionally bound by whether Kohli is doing something on the fourth stump, whether Robro deserves to be captain. I'm just saying there's no emotional involvement now. And so you can watch it with so much freedom. It's so nice. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Wonderful.
No,
I'm trying not to take it personally that they're now started playing two spinners in England, but fine. We'll cross that bridge later. Yes, where we are now. I guess it's a new era.
PDP,
yeah.
Incidentally, you look like Akash Deep 20 years from now. So maybe a good time to bring in your thoughts about it.
Nothing makes sense anymore. Okay, seriously, nothing makes sense anymore. PGK made this amazing zinger of a one-liner before this test started, saying, "How do you make changes to the 11 that weaken both batting and bowling?" And he was dead right. Okay, and that was the team that actually won.
Yeah.
And the team that looked infinitely better on paper was the team for the first test. They got themselves into great positions and they lost. So nothing absolutely makes sense anymore. I have no clue what they're going to do next. I don't know if Kuldeep Yadav will ever get a game. I hope he does at some point, but I don't know if he will. We keep having these selection committee meetings within our WhatsApp group. I really have no idea. I honestly think at this point that PGK, Hank, and VaMu have no clue on what they're going to do next, leave alone the actual selectors.
That's why we have a selection committee representation here.
Yeah.
Right? We'll let VaMu speak on behalf of the selection committee.
Yes, please.
Do you have any idea what you're doing?
No, a slightly left field take this.
What a surprise.
No. If you see the pattern of selection in the Indian Test team ever since Gautam Gambhir has taken reins, like the team for the first test was not in keeping with what has historically been happening. Like you had batting till number 7, you like played 4 genuine fast bowlers, etc. And we have generally seen like in all his test matches, like he has preferred the cushion of batting at number 8 basically, which he went back to. And it's kind of weird, right? I mean, we all like the morning of the test match, like everybody was going bonkers at Gambhir, like be it us within the WhatsApp group, be it like Indian journalists on Twitter, like everybody, even the Indian commentators on Sky, basically, like for Bumrah not playing, for Kuldeep not playing. So, and this was just something like a classic, like totally unexpected test win. I would actually go as far to say that like this was quite similar to what we did at MCG in many ways, because I don't think anybody expected us to like win this test match or be competitive. Basically, I think there's the same backdrop, and kudos to the team. I mean, for all said and for all that, like we think happens within the team about the team morale not being great, etc. Like nothing could be farther away from the truth in this game. Actually, it was fantastic test win, basically.
Sorry, once again, the confidence with which VaMu is talking nonsense is like unimaginable. First test.
Correct.
Oh, this first test was not Gambhir's team. First test, fucking Shardul Thakur is batting at number 8, dude. And in this test,
Dude, like-
Washington Sundar is batting. What is the difference? It's the same thing, no? Instead of
No,
Washington Sundar, they got NKR. What's the difference here?
Shardul
Correct.
Thakur, like you consider him a batsman or what? Like that's like.
Oh.
And when was the last time Shardul
so
Thakur like made?
NKR is a batter. Okay, Shardul Thakur is not, is it? I mean,
Yeah.
they're the same, no?
We have the answer to this. The answer to this is India selections don't matter. England are really shit at this, man. Like, what the hell is their
That is
team?
another way to
Like,
put
can we just... you can only play the opposition you are given. That's pretty much what India are doing at this point in time. And there was an amazing stat which said that Shubman Gill versus Ben Stokes, the difference in this test match is 397 runs. Which is the highest it has ever been between two captains in any test, right? And I think that pretty much sums it up. They lost by 336 runs or something, right? And the last time India lost by such a big margin was when VaMu and I went to watch India play Australia in Pune when we lost by 333 runs, I believe, right? But such is the nonsense media that has been going around that no one's pointing fingers at England, dude. They lost by 336 runs at home.
Yeah.
Can we take a moment to appreciate how terrible you have to be to do this?
After winning the toss, that too. It's not even like,
Yeah.
oh, it was a toss, we lost, and who knows, anything could happen. No. Won the toss, we'll have a bowl mate, and you lost. Amazing.
Yeah. Our viewers can't see your display name, PGK, so why don't you explain what
Oh,
it is?
nothing. My viewers My display name is PGK bracket subcontinent pitch. And that's because Ben Stokes, either the press conference or the post-match conversation said that, oh, this pitch was, we didn't expect it. It felt like a subcontinent pitch. First of all, 2 wickets out of 20 has fallen to like spinners. Right, sorry, 2 wickets have fallen to spinners, and he's sitting there and saying, this is a subcontinental pitch. So, I mean, the level of self-delusion, I mean, for England is like, I don't even know what it is now. Do they believe it? Do they not believe it? Is it just posturing? Can't tell anymore the difference. They're all the same. It's all melding together.
A bit weird what England want as their like typical wicket, right? It almost feels as if for baseball to succeed, they need flat wickets when they bat, and while they bowl, the ball suddenly needs to seam around. That seems to be their like ideal wicket, ideal cricket wicket, basically.
Hey, that
Because
is true
for
for
all
everyone,
the
Ra.
no, but for all the noise that is created was created around Edgbaston, like the Headingley wicket wasn't too different. I mean,
Exactly.
like okay, you could
Yeah, I agree.
you could possibly argue that there was a bit more bounce at Headingley, which Prasidh Krishna tried to capitalize on. But other than that, like the wickets weren't too dissimilar. I mean, what was shocking for me was the last 1 hour of play from England. I couldn't like sit and believe like what was happening because uh, Jamie Smith and Vokes, they had a nice partnership going, and then there was a wicket, and after that they just went bonkers. They're like slogging every ball, and the funniest part of that was that the dressing room was taking a lot of pleasure in what was happening on the pitch. I mean, you literally had to bat out another like hour, 90 minutes on that pitch, which was honestly like if you are a capable batsman without the new ball, like it was quite easy to do on that wicket, but it was just that they didn't want to do it for some reason. It was like
Once again,
just a
Vamu, wait,
bizarre.
wait. You're confused as to what they were doing. They were trying to chase the target down. Da? Like, which rock have you been living under? I don't understand. The required run rate by then had exceeded like 10 runs per over or something. Obviously, they had to go for it.
No, Vamu's point is actually very well this thing, because if you see, this was actually exact 180 to what happened at the MCG Boxing Day test, where India also had to chase like they had to chase some 300 odd, 370 odd, and they had decided right from the morning we are going to shut shop. And so we saw them shut shop all the way from the beginning until the last session. So only in the last session they kind of like lost it. And if you remember, that was the innings where Rishabh Pant finally, after like lets loose and goes for one, and then gets the stupid that Sunil Gavaskar. Here, the whole batting lineup from top to 1 to 11 up to Shoaib Bashir was batting like how Pant batted for those 5 minutes of madness, and people are sitting and cheering. I mean, imagine what would have happened if it was an Indian team doing this, and all the criticism they would have got. Who bats like this? It makes no sense.
Actually, the other parallel is with Sydney in 2021. It's again like a fairly flat wicket,
Correct.
and once the ball goes soft, there's nothing much happening. You could have literally blocked it, and they literally did it with two batsmen who had like one set of limbs between the two of them, Vihari and Ashwin.
Correct.
It's
Yeah,
kind of bizarre.
and there also the target was 407 runs, right?
Ah.
I mean, not 600, but still
Correct.
407 runs, and
India was in the game there as long as Pant was batting.
Correct.
Once he got out, they shut shop.
Pant went out at 250.
Ah.
I was looking at the scorecard, 250 for 4.
Yeah.
And then they shut shop, and they went on as long as they could to get to 334 for 5. The target was 407.
Correct.
It's not far off.
Correct.
Yeah. And if they had one of the two batters, if they had another batting pair, they would have still continued.
Correct.
But yeah.
The last session of play, you have like or literally like 7 or 8 fielders on the boundary, and you're literally trying to like save a test match, and you couldn't argue that India's field placement was off. Basically, such was the cricket that was being displayed by England. It was quite ridiculous to watch.
Yeah.
And like for all that we talk about like the sky panel being fairly like blunt, etc. Like I thought like they let Ben Stokes go very easily yesterday. I mean, There was like none of the hard-nosed questioning that typically comes with after a very bad loss. I think Ben Stokes was just let off very, very lightly yesterday. It was just a shocking defeat for England. I came into the series thinking like anything other than a final outcome for England would be good for India. And it does look as if we are in for a competitive test series, which like I didn't think was possible at the start of it.
Tony,
So
you
much
said
analysis paralysis, man.
you said
This and all. I mean, we're talking about like right now, if it was the Indian media, they would have been talking about how Root has scored only what 28 runs in this whole
And
match.
then he went off to watch Wimbledon. Bloody shameless
Generational
fellow.
decline. Is it time for him to go?
Not only did he go Wimbledon, he found James Anderson there and said, "Bacha, Jimmy, take one photo."
Take one photo, yeah. Shameless fellow.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
PDP, your thoughts on Root's decline?
They decline and all too much, right? 2 matches he's not scored. This is going to.
How can you on in friendly England conditions under the flattest wickets you've ever seen against Prasidh Krishna? How are you doing this? Like, please.
How are you doing this? No, man, I'm almost sure that Root is going to score at least 2 centuries in this series. At least 2. I mean, he's too good to miss out. And if the wickets are going to be anything like what we've seen so far, and they're saying that that's to do with the fact that this has been a very hot and dry summer in the UK. I'm not sure it is purely to do with giving Brendan McCullum the kind of surfaces he's looking for. So if you're going to get flat, dry pitches like this, you can expect at least 2 centuries from Joe Root this season. He's too good.
What is this? No nibbing only.
No.
I think this is the start of Joe Root's decline in my view. Like,
no,
Love it.
now we have a competitive test series on our hands.
BNP Jinx. Now that VaMu has said this, I'm going to up my prediction. He's going to score 3 centuries.
This series will end with Gautam Gambhir going to Jeffrey Boycott's house, throwing the test series answer there and saying, "This is it. Was I rubbish? Now tell me, was I rubbish?"
Hey, you joke, but I'm pretty sure he's got this at the back of his mind. Like, come on. If there is ever a better ticket collector than Gautam Gambhir, I'd like to see. But okay, let's talk about Shubman Gill. For the longest time, people have been writing him off, saying so much potential promises never lived up to it after that innings at the Gabba, right? How has he turned it around? This has been massive, man. He's scored some gazillion runs already. And therefore, the media's criticism now, if you look at it, is that he's a soft captain, apparently. So it's all a problem. I think, is it about cricket writing? Should we just shut cricket writing down and like end all cricket content? Because it has become absolute utter rubbish. Not only is like England being whitewashed, Indian players are being subject to unfair scrutiny. What say?
The biggest problem now with Gill apparently is that his voice is not manly. It is where it is. I'm not joking. I'm like, where were we? Okay, like fucking 10 days back, all the things about Gill. Now it has reached here. There's nothing else left to say. What can you say now? You're like, you can't say it was batting.
No. So look at the look at the bloody injustice of it. I mean, he scored 437 runs. He's got a body like a Greek god. And then say, yeah, all this is okay, but your voice is.
I think PG, you only brought this up in the last episode that we recorded years ago, where there was a controversy around Gill putting Prince on his bat. Like no one knew whether MRF put it.
Sorry. Sorry. I actually have an update there. Okay, I mean, from a journalistic background, I should have clarified earlier. But sure, anyway, here we are now. Okay, Corey Diggum. Okay, so the thing is, apparently, I found this out that the Prince was not for just Gill's bat. It is MRF is launching some range of bats or tires or something called Prince. I'm sure the timing is not a coincidence. Okay. So as a result of it, they're like, oh, so it's not just MRF, it's MRF Prince. So it's not that Gill went and carved or put stencil and put Prince on his bat. Or it wasn't that MRF sent one special one and said, Macha, you put Prince on your bat. I think it has something to do with that. So yes, my bad. Anyway, now Shubman Gill can put whatever the fuck he wants on his bat. He can write Sarah, this thing, Prince, I love you. You remember the thing, you know, those things you scroll on the wall with your phone number. Sarah, you can write it there. You put whatever you want on your bat.
So much liberty is taking. He went like when he was actually calling for the declaration, he came wearing a Nike inners, right?
Oh,
Like,
that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
LinkedIn bros have gone crazy. LinkedIn bros are like, this is ambush marketing, dude. This is how ambush marketing. All you know, Gill was inside changing some chaddies, and he was like, hey, you're still batting. Come back. That's it. Now it is like, oh my god. Okay, judo move. To ambush.
I mean, also let's put things into perspective, right? Like everyone's here being a happy camper. When India was batting in that final session on day 4, many a cheddi was twisted, dude. Like so many people were saying, "What is Jadeja doing? What is happening?" That, this, and the other. Let's not forget. So I think absolute nonsense. No, like India can do whatever it wants. Basically, they've played this match almost flawlessly. Like, where can you point a finger?
No, I think he was for the weather the next day. I think that was the main worry. If it was not the weather, then I'll be like, continue, man. Do whatever you got to do.
like, what is Jadeja doing is something I ask every time he comes out to bat in a test match. Like,
Yeah, this is fair. Yeah. Except he scored a lot of runs.
But the thing is, actually, VaMu raise a.
No, I agree with VaMu. In this case, I actually agree with VaMu. He's right.
I mean, Jadeja has actually been stat padding quite nicely. If you see, he picks up lots of not outs and he gets like, 2 wickets here, 3 wickets there, kind of thing, without ever being. It's been a while since he's been a dominant force in a test match. It's been a while.
No, I'm saying, forget even that. I'm saying that he has very little match awareness. I'm starting to agree. I'm like not even going into the performance, whether he stat pad, does not stat pad, forget about all that. His match awareness, something has changed. I don't get it. Like he takes like a single of the last ball, or he does not take a single of the last one, says Prasidh Krishna, Macha, you bat. You're like, this is Prasidh Krishna, dude. How will Prasidh Krishna face James Carr for 6 balls, dude? Why are you doing this? Chuma, I feel like it. I did it. I will run a 2, like 1 over left before tea, and suddenly I will start doing some random stuff. It's like very, very weird stuff he keeps doing, and it doesn't make any sense. I think VaMu said it best. If you go and tell Jaddu, you have 1 over left. After that, we'll declare that over. He'll play out a maiden. Say, okay.
Let's speak about the dominant force in this test match, right? And also possibly the best story to come out of it, which was the man who got 10 wickets and was still denied man of the match, right? Akash Deep, who played cricket somewhere in Bihar, the name of the place, which I can't even remember, something called Sarasam. What is it?
Sasaram.
I think, what?
Sasaram, right?
Yes,
Sasaram, yeah. I think Joy Bhattacharya's tweet said, well done, Akash Deep. The last person to lead an attack from Sasaram was Sher Shah Suri or something like that.
Wow.
One for you history nerds out there. But anyway, the point being that, he played cricket in Bihar at a time when Bihar Cricket Association itself was suspended for 3 years. Then he faced so much family tragedy with his father being paralyzed and then losing his father and elder brother quite quickly. And now he's playing at the age of 28 after, sort of recovering from all that. And yesterday, post the win, he apparently, sort of dedicated his performance to his sister, who's basically been detected with cancer, right? In between all this, he bowled like an absolute champion. So, thoughts, guys? Like, heartwarming story, but also, I mean,
it's also gut wrenching. It's gut wrenching. What all you have to go through and what all you have to overcome. It's actually like that Will Smith movie, The Pursuit of Happiness. Like when you're watching that movie, you're actually telling yourself, man, there is no way that you can actually survive all of this and bounce back every time.
Correct.
And if this had been a movie, I'd have been like, there's no way one guy goes through all this. But obviously he has, and props to him, man. It's amazing.
Oh, wait. News is coming in that Akshay Kumar has already signed up for a role to play Akash Dev in the upcoming
What
movie.
shit, man? You already have a doppelganger right here. Bloody Akshay Kumar.
This is true. You can play Akash Deep's dad. He was a government school teacher in Bihar, right? And so basically, all of Akash Deep's life has been a rebellion to say no. I will play cricket, right? And basically, he's got absolutely no support. It is incredible, like absolutely insane.
How did he come in to the team? Was it Ranji performances for West Bengal? He used to play for West Bengal.
No, there is a RCB connection here. So,
Fine.
So this guy was drafted into RCB incidentally as a injury replacement for Washington Sundar in 2021 or so.
Wow. Okay.
So, and he did play like a few T20 games. I think the thing that caught the eye was that he was quick and skiddy. Obviously not conducive for T20 cricket, but after that he's gone back to Ranji cricket and really put in the performances. In fact, if you recall, he had a tremendous test match against England at home in one of those games. Like, he picked up like 3 or 4 wickets in no time with the new ball. And that may have been his debut test match as well, basically. So
I think that was his debut.
yeah, and actually good to see like a Indian fast bowler like who is once again kind of a new ball specialist. I think for all the things that we talk up about our fast bowling unit, like you wouldn't look at that unit, like be it Bumrah, Shami, Ishant or Siraj, you wouldn't look at them and say that Bumrah in the last 12 months has been different, but they're not like especially new ball bowlers. I think Akash Deep is somebody who is a genuine like new ball specialist. Probably the last one of that ilk was Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who played for India. Tremendous. And again, another thing that's really struck me about Akash Deep is like very few international fast bowlers who like jack the ball back into the right-handers these days, basically. I think that's his strength, which ensures that he's getting the batsman to play most balls. Tremendous lengths all through the test match, even though Ben Stokes attributed Akash Deep's performances to a crack on the pitch, which I thought was in quite poor taste, to be honest, but like superb performance altogether, basically.
I mean, the style of bowling is actually kind of similar to Stuart Broad also, in the sense that you basically bowl at that kind of pace, bowl those kinds of lengths and get it to seam around. I loved that ball that he bowled to Joe Root. I mean, it was just unplayable, absolutely unplayable. Beauty to watch.
Yeah, okay. So I think the last test we saw the last of Sai Sudarshan for a while. Post this test, can we safely say this is the last we see of Prasidh Krishna and possibly Karun Nair?
Wait, NKR is what? Like Gary Sobers? Is
No,
it? Like
no.
seriously? Like what? Like NKR is there.
Fine, go da. Let's wheel the axe now. Come on. Washington, wheel the axe. Who chopped down the cherry tree? It was I. Come on.
No, like NKR had a shocker, man. Like I had an absolute shocker.
Yeah,
To be
like I
fair,
said,
who was expecting anything more? Right? Like,
No, Gautam Gambhir, obviously. I mean, what?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think all I have to say is that India scored 1,000 runs and NKR scored 2 of them. Okay, so that's really how bad it was. Okay.
okay. So, NKR, KRN, and KRSHN, all 3 gone.
No. So, by the way, speaking of Karun Nair, I mean, in the famous words of Varun Murali, your uncle will stand in first slip and take catches. Okay, they are not going to drop him. He has to play.
Why?
They're not dropping Karun Nair for sure.
No,
who will take? Oh, okay. I mean, who will you get instead of him?
To score 30 runs.
No, I mean that's now.
To score 30 runs and take 4 catches in first slip.
Yeah, exactly.
Be complete.
Exactly.
And not waste review standing at short leg as well,
That
basically.
is true. That is true.
Okay, so I mean, since this is what we do best,
Huh.
what changes are we gonna see for the next test?
I don't know. You know, there's
I
that
think
there's that Friends
Fr-
episode, okay, where there's that Friends.
Who has to die for me to get the baby?
Like, what has to happen for
Yadav.
Kuldeep Yadav to get a game? Like, seriously. There'll be some turning. Huh?
There is 0% chance that Kuldeep Yadav is going to play at Lords. Last
That is
time
correct.
Kuldeep Yadav got a game in England was at Lords, and that game, like
thrashed
Joe
him.
Root, his cousin,
Yeah.
Chris Wokes, everybody came and like scored hundreds there.
Yeah.
There
If
is
some
like
of those,
I see.
some of those old people from that Lord's member stand could also come down and bat and score hundreds against Kuldeep. It was that. It was just totally,
No, but I mean the general Gautam Gambhir thinking, guess, is that you have to outbat baseball, right? So fill your team with as many batters as possible. So in that regard, again, I guess Kuldeep won't play, right? You'll have your Washington, you'll have your Jadeja, you'll have even NKR or Shardul playing over Kuldeep.
I don't know if this is a baseball thing. Gautam Gambhir is doing the same thing in Australia. Like it's not
Correct.
particularly different from what he's doing there.
Yeah, but he's winning here.
Okay, fair enough. I'm saying there he was shackled. He had to play Kohli and Rohit at least for some tests. But here he's like whatever. He's doing the same thing. By the way,
So
news
what's
has just come
changing?
in.
Come on.
I'm coming to the change. But the changing is important because right now news has just come in that Brendan McCullum has said that England have asked for a pitch with quote plenty of life in it end quote. So they want pace and bounce at Lords, and they intend to play Jofra Archer. So it's going to be that kind of a pitch. So it's going to be that kind of a pitch. I think it's a pretty straight swap. It'll probably get out Prasidh and get in Bumrah, and that's it. There's nothing else. What else will you do?
Oh, really? Okay.
What else will you do? I don't know. There's no.
NKR continues to play.
No, logically, it should just be one change, but because Gautam Gambhir's OKR states that no test match teams like should have less than 3 changes. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I think there's some stat going around that like since Gautam Gambhir has become India's test coach, India has not played the same number 3 in any 2 consecutive test matches. And we are talking about like
But
9
India
or 10
have,
test matches.
India have
looking-
been number 2 in several test matches that they've played.
I'm looking
No,
at this-
actually, how
One thing,
many
I'm looking
tests
at the
has
score.
India actually won since Gambhir took over? I mean, none against
2.
Yeah, exactly 2.
More than this.
Yeah. Man.
Memorable victories, da. First time ever in those countries. Like,
They're memorable because they're only 2. Da. Like everything else is lost.
I'm looking at the squad and I'm just thinking, like, see, if you really want to go through left field stuff, if you want to drop like a Karun, you can play Dhruv Jurel as a
where da?
This could
Where
happen.
da?
No, if you that is also true. Where is correct? How will you play? Or you can basically say, oh, let's get Ishwaran at 3 instead of Karun, but that just seems like that's 3 consecutive matches with 3 different number 3s. I don't know, but it's possible in character. If you don't play NKR, who do you play? You can play Harshit Rana.
Harshit Rana has been sent back home, da.
Oh, then no, then it's gone. Then nothing else. Then it's straightforward. It's a pretty straightforward
Really?
game.
Yeah.
Will they play
No
Harshdeep?
spice here,
How
man.
they can't get.
I
it
miss
out.
the good old days. Will Ashwin play? Discuss for 70 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Let me flip it around. Like, should Bumrah play?
Hey.
Oh, should Bumrah. Is he what makes him an automatic selection?
I know. Let him go play Ranji Trophy first.
Yeah, but
Then
did you see that tweet with the records? India's test records with Bumrah, without Bumrah. Did you see that
Yeah.
tweet? I'll just
What
read
is
it
it?
out.
Tell.
Since Jasprit Bumrah's test debut, matches India with Bumrah: 46 matches, 20 wins, 22 losses, 5 draws. India without Bumrah: 27 matches, 19 wins, 5 losses, 3 draws. So the win percentage, if you want to discuss it that way, since we can replace other stat-based podcasts as well, which have been discontinued. Okay, this is where we discontinued. So, it makes sense not to play Bumrah.
Best
The odds are with you. Yeah. I'll just say one last thing and I'm done, which is that something that I read again today morning, which I couldn't believe, but apparently it's true, which is Bumrah, Shami, Siraj do not have a 10-wicket test haul, but Akashdeep does.
Wait, what? Bumrah has
Yeah,
not
yeah.
taken 10. Of course, he's taken 10 wickets.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah. So going back, PDP, your earlier point about nothing making sense. The first test, I mean, come on, man. It was a statistical anomaly, right? It's just that India were at the receiving end,
this is what
and we've been at the receiving end of too many statistical
Yeah, exactly.
anomalies of
This is what we should have started. Literally these words. Okay, on this podcast.
That is true.
Yeah, after this is going to fit to be golf caddies.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we said it.
Better go for agriculture.
Go for agriculture.
We said it very intellectually here. There, Rohit Sharma said, "Talwar chalao."
Yeah.
And BCCI said, "Okay." If you say so.
Oh, man. No, but seriously, I mean, how do we make sense of this, right? I know there have been like several scarring sort of defeats of late, which are statistical anomalies, including that fifth test against England, which never happened. But how, as a cricket team going in, how do you make sense of this? Like, do you have to set a 600-run target every time you step into the fourth innings?
Yeah.
Like, where did we lose at first test?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's very easy to point to the fact that you didn't have a plan against Ben Duckett. I mean, that is very clearly where things kind of slipped off. In fact, I was making
Ben Duckett. One second. Ben Duckett is basically the batter personification of wobble seam bowling, no? Wherein they say, like, if I only don't know which way the ball is going to seam, how does the bowler have a chance? Yeah. Ben Duckett is the same. If I only don't know what shot I'm going to hit, how does the bowler have a plan against me, right? Like,
no, but I mean the way he was like, particularly Jadeja. I mean, he was so I mean, he was so dismissive and that many reverse sweeps, and it took Jadeja so long to
Figure out
that he had to bowl into the rough or whatever. I mean, it was
well, I mean, to be fair, right? I mean, you all have those days, but I think one of the best pieces of writing that we saw this week in a terrible time for cricket writing was that Ben Stokes looks against Jadeja looks like a grizzly bear trying to solve a Rubik's cube, right? In that very same test when Duckett was swatting him around. Ben Stokes still looked clueless, right? So I don't know. I mean, I'm honestly asking, how do you make sense of a defeat like the first test, right?
Yeah.
All opinions are welcome.
No, I mean, look, I think, I don't know if you know this, but Cricinfo has basically dubbed that test as the India's unlosable test. Like, in the sense that it was a test that you should not have lost at all. And yet, you lost.
It's like in the last 3 years, every ball that Kohli got was unplayable, right? Statistically, no batter could have played that ball.
That is true. But the catches dropped didn't help. I think that was the main thing.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk much about that. But I feel that the fielding was like completely bad, especially some really bad, very easy catches they dropped. That's the first thing. And of course, well, in this case, I can see subsequent collapses both innings. Both innings, like that numbers from, I think, 6 down, both innings for India just completely boom, 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 just goes away.
Yeah,
So
but the point is they still had 370 runs to play with, no?
Yeah, I think there was also that Bumrah no ball when Brook was like yet to get off the mark, was it?
Yeah.
In that last over, that was again a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
To your point around the fourth innings, and not the first time we have seen India struggle in the fourth innings. I mean, it's been like there probably in the last couple of years, recall 5 or 6 test matches where going into the fourth innings, we thought we had enough, but we ended up losing. And I mean, not to call him out, but we had Bumrah in all those games, basically. So I think
seems like I know. Seems like you're calling him out. With all due
So-
respect.
So basically, the correct thing is for BCCI to get Bumrah to bowl in the first innings and then Shami to bowl in the second innings, and then we are good.
Yeah. But I think what happens in the fourth inning, I know we talk about Bumrah, but remember that in this game in the fourth innings, they were just not taking risks against Bumrah. They were just playing him out and saying, fine, the rest of the other idiots are there, which is more or less what they did. You go and look at the score also. Bumrah 19 overs, 3 maidens, 57, lowest economy of all of them. So they were just playing him out. They were like, you do what you want, man.
I think the main difference was Prasith's performance basically. Prasith performed in the second innings yesterday. I mean, I, I thought I thought he bowled really well yesterday, honestly.
By the way, another person who believes that is Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill also said that later. He said that Prasid did not get wickets, but I thought he bowled really well. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Macha, so does this mean you're dropping NKR for Bumrah next test?
Yeah.
So Vamu, your thoughts on Gill's captaincy? So
I think the one thing that I was a bit skeptical about going into the series was the whole equation amongst some of the captaincy candidates in the Indian team. And we didn't think that Gill was a very straightforward choice. I mean, you had Pant in there, you had Bumrah in there, you had maybe KL Rahul also in there. What I have seen
once
on
again,
the
just for
field,
the record, this is the first time we mentioned Pant in this episode.
That is true.
It's been- okay, go on.
But what I think has been very good to see is the fact that, at various stages in both the test matches, we've seen Pant taking charge in terms of field settings, KL taking charge in terms of field settings. So Gill seems to be one of those guys who seems quite comfortable in letting the others also run the show a bit. I thought there was a marked improvement in India's cricket from the first test to the second test, just in terms of the general plans, field settings, etc. Now, whether it was Gill coming up with those or whether it was the backroom staff coming up with better plans, we wouldn't know. But I was very, very impressed with India's general cricket in this test match. You could call the Brook Jamie Smith partnership in the first innings where we did lose control, but it was interesting to see what Morkel also said after the first innings, where he admitted India went away from their plans at 80 for 5, but he also pointed out that was a case where the ball had gone soft and we were just trying to risk everything for another wicket because we knew that the tail was coming up after that basically. And there was a course correction in the second innings also. We saw more steadier lines and lengths all throughout. So again, at this juncture, having seen both the test matches, I would put the first test match performance down to a bit of rust more than anything else. I generally did think that the cricket that India played was really good in the second test match, and Gill was also exceptional as captain.
Okay. Well, in the final analysis of the series, when we wonder where the series was decided, you must know, dear listeners, it is in this next question. Vamu, is Jamie Smith a better keeper batter than Rishabh Pant?
Fucker,
No,
why are you
not
even
at this.
thinking? Yeah. What is the contemplation here?
No, but PGK, you look at Jamie Smith, he has scored runs everywhere actually.
Hey, shut
So,
up, man. What
Yeah,
nonsense.
so answer the question, no.
Kuch bhi.
so kuch bhi kya, you look at he averages some 65 or 70 in Test cricket right now.
Hey, I'm not asking you for a
Boss,
stat,
yeah.
I'm asking you for an analysis. Tell.
Not
Tell
analysis.
no,
No,
he's
I
better.
think at this juncture, of course, Pant has a greater body of work behind him, but
Hey, no need for fat shaming and all, okay?
but this guy looks a real prospect. It's a pity that he's having to bat at number 7 with Pope, Stokes, and all above him. Actually, McCullum was asked this question also, is whether Smith is batting too low down the order. He just deflected it altogether. But no, he looks a very special player for me.
Dey, poda. He has only been scoring runs at home. Kuch bhi. Okay. Oh, he looks
Quizzle
like
game.
this thing and all. First, he got 95 against West Indies at Birmingham. His other 100 was in Manchester against Sri Lanka. Okay, great attack. Okay, now finally he's gotten one against India and Birmingham. That's all.
But where has he played away?
He's played in
He
Pakistan.
played in New Zealand.
He played in New Zealand. He played in Pakistan.
New Zealand, he got runs. No.
No, he didn't play New Zealand. What are you saying? He didn't play New Zealand. He only played Multan and Rawalpindi, right?
And
Multan
how much did
against
he make?
Multan, he made 31 runs, and the two tests in Multan. Second test, that one bloody test, that 15th October, 24th October test, he made 21 runs in the first innings and 6. He was the NKR of that innings. Okay, he was their NKR. All right, which be. All right, and Rawalpindi, another flat deck, 89 fine. Okay, flat deck and 3.
Don't
That's it.
dissect eye test like this, Dad.
Yeah.
Please,
Kuch
come
bhi.
on.
Okay, kuch bhi. All right. That too, Rishabh Pant. You're not even saying, oh, is he better than who was their wicketkeeper before this? Who was it? This guy.
Dhruv Jural.
Besto. Was it
Folks.
Besto? No, Folks.
Folks.
Is he better than
Folks,
Folks? You
Folks.
could say, oh, okay, fine. He's better than Folks. Fine, whatever. I don't care. And what nonsense.
But he's been tremendous, no, VaMu? He'll score another 300s, no? Come on. Tell them.
Yeah.
I think he will score another 100 in this series. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Alex Carey, actually. Like, irritating guy, comes down the order, will score like runs all the time, quick pace, decent behind the stumps, etc. Yeah, I mean, I like Jamie Smith a lot. I think like both the test matches, once like he's gotten through the first 10 balls, I think it's fair to say that he's looked pretty solid as
Yeah.
well, even within all his shot making. It's not like as if you look at that innings and say, okay, this is like a Ben Duckety innings or something of that sort. He's looked pretty safe through all his shot making.
Any mid-series predictions you want to make or change? Or are we going to see more of the same? First of all, why was that Edgbaston boundary pulled in so much, guys? Like, what is happening? And another stat is any test match that Srinath Sripath has been to in England where India have played, India have won also, right? So Edgbaston, I believe he was at the Oval last time. Anyway, but I don't think he's going for any more tests, so we don't have that to rely on.
We just have to make
but,
sure that Bissy doesn't go for any more. That's all. Then we are fine. That is the most important.
He is going to Lords, by the way. I believe with his dad. So, are we going to see more of the same? What is with the shorter boundaries, more runs, 5-day tests when people are talking about 4-day tests?
I mean, for me, the interesting thing in this series has been how wildly predictions have changed. So before the series began, everyone was like, there is no hope. You know, we're going to get whitewashed.
Correct.
And everything.
Hmm.
And now suddenly India look to be the super strong team that have won even without their ace, you know. But the funny thing is we've not had like one sort of typical English day where, you know, it's cloudy and your ball is swinging around all the time, and, you know, we've not had any of those. And
Yeah.
I honestly think that couple of
The last typical English day happened in Bangalore when India played New Zealand.
Correct.
That is correct.
Correct.
Well done.
Correct. So I honestly think that a test match could, especially the way these guys are going, a test match can swing on a day like that.
I just wanted to say that the one person who said this was actually Akash. I think Akash said it after day 1 or day 2 or something. He said that when I came to England, I thought that there would be swing and pace and bounce and all. ये तो क्या है? ये तो batting वाला खेल है. Oh, यहाँ पे. I didn't realize it. Something like that he said.
Yeah. So, but with Jofra coming in and the action moving to Lords.
But is Jofra coming in for sure?
Yeah, he will.
Well, Bass is
He will.
hugely excited. Sturgeon.
All 19 inches of him is excited.
No, I think when he was picked for the second test, Rob Key did mention that Archer will play one of the second or the third test, basically. So he will play. I think that's my main worry for the series, that like the England bowling attack will get better, because all said and done, what they have like played with so far is like their, I mean, England B type of bowling attack. If you look at what their first choice bowling attack would be, and Cars would be the only one who'd possibly be knocking on the outside. Kinson is sitting out, Archer is sitting out.
Ollie
You'll possibly
Robinson.
see no
Overton,
Robinson and
Overton.
Overton or Robinson and all are done with for baseball basically.
This is
So-
a shout
so
out to
slow.
Abhishek Chopra. But anyway.
So and I think there's also talk about Mark Wood coming in for the
But
fourth or the fifth.
So he's
test
doing
match.
commentary, da?
So what like somebody
Wood
like
is doing
somebody-
commentary on Willow TV. Is this what we're saying?
it's okay. By fifth test, we'll also see Pujara for Karun.
Oh boy.
All right.
Okay, so we are predicting there will be the assured batting lineup that India has will not look so assured as the series progresses.
No,
which
I
is
actually
like-
disagree. I think that Archer coming in, if they make a pitch like how they are promising, which is going to be like lot of life and pitch and bounce and all that, I think India is going to have the advantage for sure.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
So that rounds up the first half of this podcast. The second half of this podcast, we'll talk about the rest of the cricket happening in the rest of the world. So we have 2 minutes. Go. What to say what?
Guys, Vian Mulder scored 367 today and then declared with some bakwas reason.
What
You
is
want to
the
tell us
reason?
you want to tell us the bakwas reason?
This is DM Adi for.
No, so some nonsense about respect for Brian Lara or some nonsense like that, and I think he also came and took some wickets just for fun.
Hey, 1 second. Can I just ask something? Like, didn't we just have videos celebrating Temba Bavuma as captain of all time? Like, is this some like why is VN Mulder suddenly captain?
No,
Is it
Temba
Temba?
Bavuma
Isn't he injured?
Well,
Yeah,
the-
he's injured.
tore his hamstring.
Yeah,
No,
he's injured.
Yeah.
He-
Oh, okay.
every second test match he tears his hamstring. basically.
Correct.
And but wait, is Zimbabwe part of the WTC? I should know. I don't think so, right? This is some random like
No,
friendly.
no. This is
series
an
session.
official test, but it's not part of the WTC.
How do you know so much?
I don't,
Dad?
yeah, exactly. That's what I was wondering. How do you even know this? I have no idea. But okay.
Okay, so fine. South Africa is playing Zimbabwe apparently for no reason. Like, okay.
Exactly.
But there is another series going on, no? West Indies versus Australia.
Australia,
If Bharat
Yeah.
Sundareshan's tweets are to be believed.
yeah.
Yeah, West Indies versus Australia. Second test, Australia won by 133 runs today. Okay. The only thing I will say about Australia is that there is a lot of stomach hurting about Sam Constas. Because Sam Constas now, they already lost one opener. They got rid of Labuskagne.
Huh.
Now they're like thinking, oh, if we get rid of this opener also, will Smith have to open again?
Yeah.
Like, do we have to go back there?
Oh, this
Because
is
who else?
Will
Who
Smith's
else?
pursuit of happiness. Okay.
No,
Because who else is left?
to lose one opener is unfortunate. To lose,
Oh,
to lose
two.
two.
Nice. I like it.
Is a statistic.
I like it. I've been reading things like
Somebody-
after Sam Constas got out, there was like potentially somebody got up to put a hand on their shoulder or something.
Ah, yeah.
Yes.
Andrew McDonald.
Andrew McDonald.
Andrew McDonald. Potentially they got up. But could be for anything. Maybe as PDPs, maybe they got up to smoke a cigarette. But potentially anything is possible. Yeah.
No, it is interesting you mentioned like whether Smith will have to go back to opening again in the West Indies because I was reminded of the great Funny G story like no matter where
Brilliant.
Uh,
Brilliant. Very good.
Superb. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
Okay.
This was episode 171 of Bits and Pieces. Thank you for still staying with us. But really, where else will you go? Ashwin's podcast.
It was like
Oh my god, that was harsh, man.
it was like
Like we went an entire episode.
I was like about to leave episode last. This is like that, that last thing where that Lannister sent their regard, the final stab. No, it's like for no reason. No reason. Nothing I said. But anyway.
Fun. Okay. Thank you for staying with us, and tune in next time. Hopefully sooner than later. When is the next day starting? I think it's a shorter turnaround. No, 3
Yes,
days.
sure. It's in
Thursday.
Thursday, starting in 4 days.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be back again next week. Till then, this is Tony, Varun, PDP, and PGK signing off. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?